Before we get any further in the video, I wanted to mention my Patreon. Patrons get all my podcasts a week early. I do Q&As, I do giveaways, but most importantly, I also review your music. Every month, I do a call for submissions on my Patreon for members who are at the $10 and up level. If you want me to review something, all you need to do is drop it in the comments of that post. Then I will review it live on Twitch, post it on Patreon for everyone to see, and that's it. So if that sounds cool to you, hit the link in the description of this video. Let us talk about the new Falling in Reverse song, Voices in My Head, which as of now, 1.8 million views and number 7 trending for music. That is no joke. Before we do that though, I want to just kind of, as I like to do with these, give a little bit of context to this song so everyone sort of understands who Falling in Reverse is and sort of, I don't know, the context for this song. So to me, that's helpful to sort of understand the bigger picture. So I'm guessing that everyone knows who Escape the Fate is. I don't know. In case you don't, see the old school Escape the Fate. They were one of the bigger scene bands of the 2000s. You may know the song Situations. Situations are irrelevant now. You know, they came out in 2004, 2005. One of the first bands to bring back this sort of like Motley Crue inspired like 80s hair metal kind of look, which other bands did as well. Like 18 Visions was also super early to that. They were definitely the first. But Escape the Fate, obviously a much bigger band than 18 Visions ever was. And this aesthetic was actually kind of interesting at the time because, you know, this was the mid-2000s when it was all about being emo and wearing your youth large Little League shirt with your bootcut girl jeans and all that. So for these guys to come out of Vegas and sort of be, you know, Motley Crue inspired, you know, hard rockers was actually pretty interesting. They got pretty big, pretty fast. They signed to Epitaph, and Ronnie, you know, was already starting to become a star. But they had a little bit of a problem because Ronnie went to prison in, what was it, 2008? Yes. A lot of people think that Ronnie killed somebody. Not true. Not true at all. While living in Las Vegas, he was present during an altercation in May of 2006 that ultimately led to the shooting death of 18-year-old Michael Cook. So basically, there were some people who decided to go get in a fight out in the desert. Somebody pulled out a gun and this kid got shot. Unfortunately, Ronnie did not pull the trigger. He was there. While Radke did not fire the gun, he was indicted on battery charges, sentenced to 5 years probation, and sent to jail in 2008 for missing an appointment with his parole officer, a probation violation. So yeah, he went to prison for 2 years, I think, 2.5 years. And when he went to prison, he was kicked out of Escape the Fate. They replaced him with Craig Mabbitt. And you know, what's interesting, I guess the sort of larger context to all of this to me is that Ronnie is one of these people that just keeps reinventing himself, that just keeps coming back again and again and again. And that's something that I admire a lot. You know, you can say what you want about Ronnie on a personal level. I don't know him. I talked to him on Instagram a bit, but I don't know the guy. Whether you like him or not, for anybody to come back so many times and to reinvent themselves musically and personally as many times as he has, to me, is really impressive. So he came out of prison in 2010 and immediately hit the ground running with new music. This was from the first Falling in Reverse album. You may have recognized this song because it had a little bit of a revival on TikTok a couple years ago. But this first album, what I think is pretty interesting about it, for one, he still had the kind of rocker look back then, which I thought was kind of funny. I remember when I first saw him in Escape the Fate, I'm not joking, I legitimately was like, oh man, he looks he looks like one of those hot rocker girls, like one of these Joan Jett rocker type girls. I like it. But anyway, this is the first album he came out with out of prison. And if you're familiar with the newer stuff from Falling in Reverse, you'll immediately recognize how different this is.
Like bad guys, I have this question for
it's almost like pop punk.
So why do good girls fall in love with me?
Also, this pink microphone kind of looks like a dong. I mean, you got Ronnie with this hot rocker look with this big pink dong in his hand. I'm getting a little bit hot. I don't know about you guys. I actually like this album quite a bit. Very different from what he's doing now. I would say pretty similar to Escape the Fate. When he was in Escape the Fate, I like it quite a bit. I really like this song a lot. I really like this chorus. Like, really, he wrote this song when he was in prison, I think. You know, Ronnie's obviously been, you know, he has been a troubled guy. And what I appreciate is that you can tell that even back then, like when he was in prison writing this stuff, you know, he was in the process of reinventing himself even then. You know, if you listen to these lyrics, you can tell. I mean, super catchy song for one, but also really good lyrics, especially when you consider that, you know, to be in prison and mentally in the place where you're writing lyrics like this, you know, Ronnie's not perfect, but I think that tells you a lot about sort of where his head is at. Now, he was not done reinventing himself. I'm going to kind of skip ahead a little bit, but what I would say was the next big thing for him was this one, which if you remember when this song came out, people memed on this hard. Kind of out of the blue, he came out with this song alone. I'm not going to say that this is the best song in the world, but it was ahead of the curve in a lot of ways. And very different from what he was doing before, right? Much heavier. I mean, you know, Escape the Fate did have some heavy songs. This is like angry prison Ronnie. Rapping. The Charlie Sheen reference, probably not the best thing in the world. That didn't age well. But, you know, he's talking about wearing Gucci and rapping and stuff. This is back in 2013. Now it's common for people in rock bands to wear Gucci and rap and shit like that, you know, and adopt a lot of these sort of like hip hop characteristics. But back in 2013, it was not. You know, already you could tell that he had moved on and he looks different. Like, you could tell that he had moved on from what he was doing, you know, with Escape the Fate and even with early Falling in Reverse. Already he had sort of moved on. The next, I guess, what I would call evolution of Ronnie and Falling in Reverse is closer to what he's been doing now, which is more of like the sort of modern rock sort of sound.
I got the motherfucking world in my palm now. Don't tell me to calm down.
I don't love this song or this sound necessarily, but I mean, look, 23 million views. So different from what he was doing even like 5 years before this, right? You know, but still, like a chorus like this is still sort of your classic Ronnie. You can still hear it, but I wouldn't even believe that this is the same artist who did Escape the Fate or early Falling in Reverse. What's really interesting to me is that he had, I would say, like the biggest song of his career. His biggest breakthrough was in 2019. So this is 15 years after Escape the Fate started. You know, Escape the Fate doing, you know, basically, I don't know, it's not exactly pop punk, but it's like pop punk adjacent rock. The biggest song of his career was in late 2019 when he did Popular Monster. This is the song that really like put him over to, you know, being #1 on like every rock chart. Yeah, this is a good point too from the chat here. Losing My Mind was also the beginning of Falling in Reverse's singles only era. That's right. You know, he's a smart guy. He's done some things that weren't super smart, like, you know, throwing the mic stand at that girl, stuff like that. But he's a smart guy. This is when he sort of understood which way the wind is blowing. It's like, why am I doing albums? Albums don't matter anymore. What matters is having a big single and a video that becomes like a topic of conversation, which is what he started doing.
Wake up every morning with my head up in a daze. I'm not sure if I should say this, fuck, I'll say it anyway.
Yeah, it's not a fucking phase. I just wanna feel okay. Okay, yeah, I struggle with this bullshit.
Some more of this sort of rap rock, but this is also when Falling in Reverse went gent. Like, pretty heavy shit. There's even a breakdown here. Who would have ever thought that Ronnie Radke would go full gent? But here it is. Tuned down to A or whatever, genting in the bank vault. That's right. So that kind of brings us to where we are today. Obviously, there's a few songs that I've skipped over. I'm not trying to like break down every song that Falling in Reverse has ever done. But my point is, Ronnie has been somebody who's continuously reinvented himself, not only like personally, you know, to go from being a drug addict who went to prison for being involved in a murder to come out and get sober, for one. Super impressive. I respect the shit out of that. That's something not a lot of people are able to do. But also to continue to evolve his music as much as he has. Like, would you believe that that song, Popular Monster, was the same person that did Situations? Like, he is a different person than he was then, and more successful than ever. So, got to give him some credit for that. With all of that being said, I actually have not watched or listened to this yet. This is the new song, Voices in My Head. And so my question going into this is, how is Ronnie going to reinvent himself in this song, or is he? Like, is this going to be a new Ronnie? Are we still in the Popular Monster era? Let's find out.
The voices in my head keep on telling me to pray, cause I'm spinning like a carousel.
Now, I think this is a wig because I can see Ronnie's hair under that, or maybe that's just Ronnie's big old brain trying to bust out of his scalp. We don't know.
Hit the bottom of the bottle, I don't want to feel the pain, but that is all I got for now. I don't want to talk about
levitating. This is like the scene in the movie where they have like the villain locked up in this cage. They've taken every security precaution they possibly can, and they're so confident that he'll never get out. But something tells me that villain is going to get out of the cage. Like when they had Magneto and that glass, the glass thing.
And I know my time is coming, so there ain't no time to waste. So that is all I got for now. I don't want to talk about the voices in my head.
Okay, and yeah, look, here's a flashback to hot rocker girl Ronnie. I'm guessing that this is him, talking about going to prison. I'm just glad to see the hot rocker girl version of Ronnie come back. I hope he's holding the dick again.
I'm a sad boy, you know better. Please don't make this last forever.
Okay. Well, I guess on the topic of reinventing yourself, I think this is like as literal as it gets, right? New Ronnie comes in and shoots old Ronnie. So I think he's trying to tell us, I'm not this person anymore. The voices in my head keep telling me I'm not okay. Oh, that was kind of cool. I like that sort of that like operatic sort of tone when it said, please don't make this last forever. That sounded cool. That was a really cool little melody there. So what I'm getting so far from this song is that although Ronnie has obviously come a long way personally, he was a fucking mess back in the day, as he will tell you, when he was like actively using and just totally out of control. He's still dealing with this shit, which I think is an important message for people to hear, because there's this idea that if you have depression or anxiety or addiction or any of these issues, that there's something you can do where now all of a sudden, okay, it's fixed and I'm never going to be sick again, like, getting over a cold. And, for most people, that's not how it works. I had some like pretty serious depression for a long time, and it's definitely better than it used to be, but I still have my days. And, people who were former addicts who are no longer using, they still have their days too. So I actually think that's an important message. And who is this? Okay, I see. Okay, here we go. I guess he's calling out TikTokers here. He's got the blonde wig, and he's on TikTok. Ronnie Radke trying too hard, hashtag canceled, hashtag mic stand. He's always been good at sort of referencing the memes about himself, right? Like, people still bring up the mic stand thing all the time, and I think he was smart to lean into that stuff and understand that this is how you stay relevant. My question is, I know some people have said this is a jab at MGK. Is it? I don't know. Let's see.
Giving me the worst advice. Kamikaze crash like a suicide.
Ronnie shows up with a sniper rifle here and blasts whoever this is in the TikTok. The kill shot reference, I think it is. So there's the Eminem song Kill Shot, which is when he went after MGK and, as some people say, chased MGK out of rap. Is this a reference to that? I hope it is too.
Please don't make this last forever.
But look, and someone comes along, the canceled mobile, this car here with the license plate canceled, comes along and kills Ronnie. He said something about Kamikaze. Okay, then it is an MGK reference. That's right, Kamikaze is an Eminem album. Yeah. I really do like that forever thing that he does there with the vocal melody. Telling me I'm fine, but we both know that's a fucking lie. Again, I don't know exactly what he's talking about here, but the point is, for a lot of us, you do have that little voice in your head. It feels real. You want to tell that voice to fuck off, but it sure is hard, isn't it? You know, when you're going through it, even if you know you shouldn't feel this way, like, it's not that easy. You can't just tell yourself, stop feeling this way, don't listen to the voice.
Voices in my head keep on telling
Oh, this
me
part's
I'm
cool.
cursed. I'm paranoid, I don't want to make it any worse.
Ooh, I like this part. I gotta listen to this part again. He said, okay, so he said the song's about hypochondria. Well, shit, I definitely have hypochondriasis. I get scared about health issues all the time, so I can feel this. I want to give a shout out, yeah, to the corpse part. I'm going to give a shout out to the Ghost Main corpse part here. Also want to give a shout out to Tyler Smith, who I'm pretty sure produced and mixed this song. He's done a lot of the more recent Following Reverse stuff. I like Tyler a lot, and his wife, both very cool people, so shout out to them.
The voices in my head
This is cool.
keep on telling me I'm cursed. I'm paranoid, I don't want to make it any worse. I'ma take the world with me when they put me in the dirt. Move!
Okay, here we go. Here comes another heavy gent part. There we go. So we know Ronnie has listened to Corpse Husband and Meshuggah.
Move!
And he's got the Matrix fight scene here. And Luke Holland on drums, too. One of the fucking best in the game, for sure. He's put together a great band. You got to give him credit for consistently having great videos. Popular Monster, especially Zombified, his last one. I mean, it looked like a super high budget, like, movie trailer, right? Like, it was no joke. And same for this. Very high quality production. You're fucked. Okay, now. So now Ronnie's taking out these katanas and slashing his clones. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. All I know is Ronnie's chopping up. I think those are his clones. His third eye. Looks like I see here all this is maybe happening inside Ronnie's head. Is he, you know, just inside this prison cell? His third eye here. This man has listened to Tool and opened up his third eye. That's what's happened here, I think. Oh, you're right. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're right. I did not react sufficiently during the breakdown. You're right. We're going to go back and revisit this breakdown to make sure, now that I'm doing reactions, I have to give you a valid reaction during the breakdown. Here we go. I'm gearing up. I'm gathering my chakra. I'm getting ready for the breakdown to give you a 100% honest, authentic reaction to this breakdown.
Move!
I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't help it. That was my honest, unfiltered reaction to this breakdown. Lifelong metal fan reacts to Metallica for the first time. Oh, now look, I told you guys, look at this. I told you guys, the door is open. This never works. When will they learn? You try to put the bad guy in his highly secured cell inside your ultra top secret facility. They always get out. When will you people learn? You tried to put Ronnie in a cage. You cannot cage Ronnie Radke, my friends. This man cannot be confined. And yes, Ronnie Radke feet reveal. That's right. Can we just zoom in here? God damn it. YouTube won't let me zoom in. Can somebody screenshot this and just send me Ronnie's feet, a close-up, and enhance, just give me like a life-size printout of Ronnie's foot, and I'll put it on the wall behind me. That's what I want. There we have it. This is the new song by Falling in Reverse, Voices in My Head. Again, shout out to Tyler, the producer. Shout out to Ronnie. Just whether you like his music or not, whether you like him or not as a person, I think you got to respect anybody who has been in the game for this long and just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every year. That is hard as fuck to do. Also, shout out to him for working on himself as much as he has. Is he perfect? No, absolutely not. I'm sure he would agree with me on that. But the man has come so far. It is hard to work on yourself, and he has done that. So respect for that, and I'm excited to see what is next for Ronnie and Falling in Reverse.